So one of the things that is of key importance when you've got a new client or a new patient that comes into your facility and into our facility here at SWAT Health is a proper assessment. So in order to figure out what we're going to do from either a training standpoint or from a therapy standpoint, we need to know where the client should be, where they want to be, and where they are currently. And once we're able to assess that deficit, we can come up with a properly structured plan in order to systematically attack each one of those things. Now, an integral part of that is the integrated assessment. And what the integrated assessment does is it looks at the totality of human movement. So the upper body, the lower body, and the core. And it gives us an idea of a few different things. First off, it tells us the areas that move well, because we don't really need to pay attention to any of those. It also tells us the areas that don't move well. But then it goes a little bit deeper into that, because the reason why someone doesn't move well, even though on the outside can look the same, doesn't mean it's going to be the same in actuality. I'll give you an example. Someone is unable to bend forward and touch their toes. Now, what are the possibilities here? Naturally, people think it's an issue with my hamstrings. My hamstrings are too tight, and certainly that is a possibility. But there could be some neurological tightness. There could be an issue with hip mobility. There could be an issue with lumbar spine mobility or connective tissue. There could also be an issue with how someone patterns in movement. What I mean by that is the different neuromyofascial engram that they use in order to bend forward and actually touch their toes and execute it. They all look the same in that you can't touch your toes, but those causes are very different. So on the outside they look similar, but in truth they're actually quite different. The issue then becomes one when you're executing therapy or when you're executing training. So if I'm unable to touch my toes because my hamstring is tight, but I've given someone hip mobility work, it's really not going to have an effect. Likewise, if I give someone a lot of hip mobility work and in actuality the problem is motor patterning, so how they execute the movement, it's not going to have any effect. But if we can match up the deficit with a therapeutic intervention, the results are incredibly fast, incredibly robust, and they stick. And we're able to march up that deficit between where they are and where they should be very quickly. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on here at SWAT Health.